아 이거 약간 내가 볼
All of his
때는
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
이거 내가 볼 때는
Stanley
뭔가 좀 더
clutched the
있어.
bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
뭐가 좀 더 있을 것 같아. 뭐야? 뭐야 이것도? 전부 찾으면 보상 있을 거라고? 야 이거 위치 알려주네. 보니까 이거 넘어갈 때마다 뭔가 알려주는 것 같은데? 빨간 방. 호호.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
오케이 스티커 없다고 확실하게 말해주네.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
빨간
office.
방이라면 이거밖에 없잖아. 그래.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little
그래
Stanley
내가 생각했던 게 빨간 방이 이거였거든 순간적으로. 그 빨간 방이 두 개가 있어. 그러니까 파란색 빨간색 문 지나갈 때 그거랑 이게 빨간색 등으로 켜져 있는 이 방.
that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by one. Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
어. 이거랑
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his
이거
gaze,
무한 뺑뺑이
said
무한이잖아.
nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these.
이거
He
나를
held
지금
the
끝날
bucket
때까지 아마
close,
계속
yet
뺑뺑이만
felt
돌
none
걸.
of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come
오빠.
from this. Who
근데
knows
내
what
양동이.
sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he
아 양동이가 다
noticed
똑같은
the
양동이지.
which was, of course, very odd. Now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious.
어? 잠깐만 내 몸이 왜 점점
Without my
떠오르니?
bucket,
잠깐만.
I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket. Could it truly be?
어 뭐야?
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his
바퀴스가 점점
special
증가하는데 잠깐만.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from.
어디서 났는데?
The real bucket was inside of him.
애매해 존재했다는 건 뭔 개 헛소리야 이것도.
Incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
어? 블랙아웃?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
마리엘라?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and
아니
security.
그놈의 양동이가 뭐라고 안 하나 진짜.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who
아니
had stumbled
그놈의
through town,
양동이.
talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad. ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Marietta thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
뭔 헛소리야 이거. 공중제비를 갑자기 왜 돌아? 어? 전화.
Hi Stanley, just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
뭐 사오라고 하는 것 같은데? 느낌이? 그러니까 저거 그냥 심부름 시킨 거 아니야? 내용 뭐 남편한테? 내가 듣기엔 대충 그렇게 들렸는데?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
왼쪽 들어가 보자 이번에. 근데 이번에 왜 이렇게 말을 안 하냐 얘가? 근데 이거 다 찾아보고 싶은데 하나 위치는 알긴 한데 어느 쪽으로 가는 건지 모르겠고 나머지 하나는 애초에 힌트조차도 없거든. (116번) 직원이 남긴 단서를 따라가라? 116번. 빨강과 파랑 모두 어딘가에서 넓은 방 많은 상자. 그러니까 여기에 피규어. 잠깐만. 나갈래 올라지. 잠깐만. 그냥 그렇구나. 그래. 뭐 먹자. 야, 하나 남았다. 그 빨간 문하고 파란 문 사이 거기만 가면 된다 이제.
You'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then, different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
그래. 야 씨발.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a... Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the direct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know
못 들어가?
what is a bucket and what isn't?
바켓스가 있다고 못 들어간다고?
I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something
그래,
about it.
조치를 취해.
This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what.
그럼 뭐야? 만약 여기에서 양동이를 안 들고 왔으면은 지나갈 수 있는 방이었어?
Step in here for a moment.
그래, 여기 들어가자. 뭔데 이번에? 이곳은 양동이일까요?
I'm going to run you through some test
뭔데?
scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the
그래,
thing I'm showing you
그래,
is a bucket. Simply enough,
퀴즈
right?
쇼구나.
This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a
아?
bucket, not an actual.
야 말로마. 홀로그램으로 만든 바켓스래.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket,
아니.
not an actual bucket.
아니 뭔 3D 프린팅이 3D 프린트야 이제.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
아 씨발로 아니야. 그럼.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
어허 이 나레이터 씨가 씨발.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
아 이건 당연히 양동이지. 씨 아주 그지같네 아니야.
Are you hallucinating? This is
어
a
양동이야
tractor.
양동이라
It's
쳐.
an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely
어쩌라고.
incredible.
어차피 야 이거 씨 이거 양동이 아니라 그러면 해봤자 아니요 이건 사실 양동이를 펼쳐서 만든 트랙터입니다 하면서 이제 개질할 거잖아. 그래 아니야.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
그래 다 내가 아무리 열심히 말해봤자 답은 정해져 있어.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
그래.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
아? 둘 다 해당되는 건 뭐야? 중립인 양동이는 대체 뭐냐고?
Item. Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. Should be around here somewhere.
어? 양동이가 아니지.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well.
다행이다. 난 이번에는 투명한 양동이가 있었습니다. 하지만 당신은 보지 못했나 보군요 하면서 뭐.
I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think?
그럴 줄 알았는데.
Answer me straight.
당연히도 그 잘 안 하네.
Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort
그래
it out.
사실 우리는 통 속의 양동이 아니었을까? 이거 뭔 개소리인지 모르겠지만 하여간 우린 통 속의 양동이었어.
And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this.
어?
I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever
그래
had.
제정신부터 차리자.
I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
어?
What happened? Is everything gone?
그래 양동이뿐만 아니라 모든 게 다 사라졌는데?
Was everything a bucket? Every
오,
single thing in the
그렇구만.
game was a bucket.
모든 게 양동이로 이루어져 있구만.
God, I had no idea.
내 몸은 양동이로 이루어져 있고 막.
Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on the issue,
아이고.
but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
아이고야, 미치겠네. 와, 이 모든 게 사실
Someone was
다
following
양동이었어.
Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
돌아본다면? 아무것도 없는데요? 어? 뭐가 있을 거라며. 그래. 한번 이번 바켓스 들고 가지 말고 그 거기로 한번 가봅시다. 그 바켓스 출입 금지고요.
When Stanley came
이번에
to a
열려
set
있지
of
않을까?
two open
양동이를
doors,
안
this
들고
was not
가니까.
the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And
네,
here
빠르게
it was,
가봅시다.
the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
야, 빨리 올라가.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this
오케이, 가자.
time. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on
그래.
your side. And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This
그래,
is a
다
real
모았어.
accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
다 모으긴 했어. 그래.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
그래, 이번에 한번 말
Oh,
들어주자.
thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now.
아, 맞아.
Don't
이거
you see
여기
that it's
들어가면
killing
이제
Stanley?
그거지.
I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
뭐 어쩌라고.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
미안하겠지만
If we
친구,
just
내가
stay
밀착 감각이
right
좀
here,
딸려서
right
이런
in
걸
this
보고
moment
아름답다고
with
생각하지
this
않는다, 나
place.
친구.
Stanley, no, wait. Where are you going?
안 한.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No!
뭐야, 안 죽었어.
Thank God. You lived. No. What are you doing, Stanley?
Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
가자.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. My God, is this really how much you disliked my game?
싫지 않아.
That you'll throw yourself on this
하지만
platform over and over to be rid of
난그
it?
피규어를 다 모았기 때문에 보상이 뭔지 궁금하다고. 분명 이거 시작하자마자 뭔가 일이 벌어질 것
By
같거든.
reading the situation
피규어 다 모아서.
correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that
그리고
was too much to ask.
이거 점점 느려진다.
It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over?
Yes,
Going to
over.
restart, isn't it? I'm going back.